Children in Gaza are hungry, and the fear is that they're about to get hungrier. Donors to UNRWA, the main UN agency that supports Palestinians, including the UK, withdrew their funding 10 days ago because of allegations in a confidential Israeli document that this program has now seen. The document repeats an allegation the Israel Defense Force has made many times, that the Hamas terrorist organization has been methodically and deliberately emplacing its terrorist infrastructure in a wide range of UN facilities and assets, but provides no evidence to support its explosive new claim that UNRWA staff were involved in the terror attacks on Israel. Israel gave the document to donors just after the International Court of Justice in The Hague made an interim ruling on a charge of genocide against Israel.
Israel must take immediate and effective measures to enable the provision of urgently needed basic services and humanitarian assistance.
It is utterly shocking that the donors who accuse UNRWA of instrumentalizing aid, as they have done, are themselves weaponizing UNRWA. It is a violation of international humanitarian law. It's a violation of international principles. It's a violation of the ruling by the ICJ, which says nobody should squeeze international humanitarian aid. What's Britain and others done? They've squeezed the aid. And it's a violation, arguably, of the Genocide Convention, because it will devastate the lives of 1.2 million people who were on UNRWA's food lines even before the 7th of October, and that's going to get longer. It will undoubtedly, if unsuspended, lead to mass starvation.
Apart from emergency aid, UNRWA runs schools, hospitals and other services for 5.9 million Palestinian refugees across the Middle East. It employs 13,000 Gazans, all of whose names have been checked against a UN terrorism list and as recently as last May were vetted and approved by Israel. UNRWA immediately fired the staff members named in the document and mounted an investigation.
UNRWA is playing a critical role. It's true that the Israeli government has been very critical of UNRWA, not now, from many times ago, but we cannot punish 2 million people by depriving them from the support that UNRWA is providing. Who will take care of that?
Hello? The Israeli Prime Minister, who met a UN delegation last week, is angry that UN reports about the dire humanitarian situation in Gaza were cited as evidence in the genocide hearing, adding to his anger that UNRWA staff allegedly took part in acts of terror.
I think it's time that the international community and the UN itself understand that UNRWA's mission has to end.
Today, UNRWA released photographs they say show a food aid truck in Gaza which was hit by Israeli naval gunfire. The Israelis haven't yet commented. In Gaza, the suffering never seems to end. Today, the UN Secretary-General announced an investigation into UNRWA to be headed by a former French foreign minister. If UNRWA were forced to close, another organisation would have to step in. Under international law, in the West Bank and Gaza, the occupying power, which is Israel, would be held responsible.
Well, earlier I spoke from our studio to UNRWA's spokesperson, Juliet Toomer, and I began by asking if they had received any evidence from Israel to support the allegations being made.
There is an ongoing investigation that is not conducted by UNRWA. It is being done by the highest investigative office of investigations in the United Nations. That investigation is ongoing, and they are going to do their work and look into all these allegations.